Hello, we are in part two of a video of coins that I picked up from my favorite coin store in May of 2023. It's taken me about 5 months to actually record this video. It's probably going to take me another month to actually upload it. But I paid for 64 coins, four for $1, so I paid $21, and we're going to jump in and see this coin from Malta, which is 25 cents in Malta. This one's from 1975. It's KM29. And so I believe this is the first year that the Republic of Malta had started. So they remade a lot of their coinage. This one is a larger coin that I did not have, books for $2. And it's neat to see the canoe with the sun in the background. So this one is made out of brass. There's a version A of this coin that was made out of bronze, but was only available in proof sets in 1975. And then from 1976 through 81, the Franklin Mint made these in their mint sets. So KM29. Here we have a coin with King Rama on it from Thailand. And so I am going to keep a running tally of how much all these coins are worth, and I'll kind of tell you at the very end how much everything from the last video and this video combined to be worth. This bimetallic coin is a 10 baht, and Thailand is one of those countries that I just cannot read the date on it, no matter how hard I try. So this coin is something newer than 1989 and has a catalog value, a number of Y227, books for $1. The center is made out of aluminum brass, and the ring is and the outside is a stainless steel ring. For those people who are looking to go through coin bins to find things that are worth it in foreign exchange value, you might be able to do that with coins from Aruba. Now Aruba is controlled by the Netherlands, and the Netherlands coins are now under the Euro system, but not in Aruba. Aruba still has their own coins, which is one of the better coins in the world for foreign exchange value, but you'd have to find the florin or something better to actually get your value out of it. This one's from 1988. Turn it over, and we see Queen Beatrix, Queen of the Netherlands. This coin is KM number 5 and has a foreign exchange value of 56 cents. Here's a coin that I bought again for the foreign exchange value, but then it turned out I didn't actually have it because the 5 kroner looks a lot like the 2 kroner, and I once got a bunch of them in a mystery lot, so I didn't realize I didn't have the 5. But the 5 kroner here from Denmark is a date of 1995. They like putting hearts on their coins. This one is KM 869. 1 kroner is worth about 14 cents, and 5 kroners is worth about 71 cents. And this coin has 3 monograms of M the Second. Here's a fairly modern Malaysian coin dating 2011, although this is the last year of this series. In 2012, they completely overhauled all of their coins. This is the 50 sen coin, so there's 100 sen in 1 ringgit. So this is about the size of a US half a dollar. Not quite sure which side is up on here, but this is going to be a ceremonial kite. KM 53 on this coin. Before Malaysia was a country, it was a collection of other places, including Malaya, which is what this coin is from. So it's the Commissioner of Currencies from 1948. It's a 5 cents coin. This is the first year this coin was not made out of silver. Instead, it is copper nickel. But since it's a British territory, it's going to have King George VI on it. And I had this coin, but this one appears to be in better shape. So this one has a book value of 75 cents. A lot of the German coins that you find aren't all that interesting, but the two marks have do feature different people on them. This one is from 1971 with a J mint mark. And the name is not on here, but this is honoring Theodore Heuss, who died apparently in 1969, so just a couple of years before this coin was made. So this was, I think, the second year this coin was made. And so if you're trying to get foreign exchange value, even though Germany did switch over to the euro, there are places, it's getting harder to find, there are places where you can convert this and it would have about a $1 conversion on it. But the catalog value on this coin is $1.50. Here is a Jamaican coin that reminds me of the 50 pence coins from Britain that are also the same shape and size, although they may be 7-sided, and this one is 12-sided. This is a 50-cent coin from 1975, KM65. There is a Franklin Mint version of this coin, which is slightly different. Harder to find, but on the Franklin Mint version, the word Jamaica has the letters closer together, and all the letters fit between the edge of the two headdresses here. So if the J and the A are beyond the headdresses, then you have the more common circulating version like this one, but it does feature the excellent Marcus Garvey, 1887 to 1940. This one is KM65. Here is one of the earliest coins from after Israel became a country in the mid-1900s. This is a 50 Pruta coin. It's going to have a date on here in Hebrew of 5714, which means it was actually in our calendar 1954. And I have it upside down. It's going to have grapes with grape leaves on this side. So there are 3 different versions of the 50 Pruta coin. This one is KM 13.2A. The 0.1 version has a reeded edge, where this one is the plain edge. So that gives it the 0.2, and then the A, well, the 0.1 is also copper nickel, where if you've seen the United States circulating coin where you look on the side, most of it's kind of a brownish look, but this one is more of a darker, like a dark gray look in the middle. So this one is actually nickel plated steel. So I guess you have steel in the middle and nickel on the outside to give it its appearance. So that makes this 13.2A, books for $1. We've got a small stack of Argentinian coins that we're going to go through right now. We're going to start with this 50 centavos coin from 1958. KM31. This one is nickel-clad steel, so just like the last coin, I haven't seen a lot of coins like this where the steel part is actually kind of dark, so it's not stainless steel, but just regular steel plated in nickel. So I haven't seen that very often, and I found that on 2 coins in a row. As it turns out, I didn't have this coin, and I figured I probably did, but this one is KM31. For something a little bit newer, we have this 10 pesos coin from 1985, and when we flip this one over, this building is on several different Argentinian coins, so I thought I had it, but this is another one I also didn't have. This one is KM68, and it's the Independence Hall at Tucumán. Or at the top it says Casa de Tucumán. So this one is KM68. Then we'll move to this 100 pesos coin from 1979. This one is KM60. Featuring General Jose de San Martin. So this coin is made out of aluminum bronze, but on later years it was made out of brass-clad steel. In the late 80s and the early 90s, they changed from the pesos to the Australs, or Australis. And so this currency system didn't last for very long, but here is the 1 Australis coin from 1989. So as you can see, it has the number 1 recessed here in kind of a block. And the way you drew the currency was that A with 2 lines through it. This was a 1-year coin from 1989. And it features the City Hall from Buenos Aires. This is another 1-year coin. As it turned out, I didn't have this coin either. It only has a book value of 15 cents, but anytime I find a coin that's new to my collection, it's worth paying a quarter for. I'm assuming they went through some hyperinflation, because the very next year they made a 500 Australis coin. And then just had the country's logo on this side. Still made out of aluminum. So this one is KM79. That last coin and this one were both made from 1990 through 91, which I think is when the system ended, but this is the 1000. I think this is the largest coin they made before they switched to another new system. This one has the same reverse on it. This one is KM80. You get old coins from Egypt, and they're usually well worn. This one is the 10 millimes coin from 1917. We'll flip this one over and you can actually see the date, 1917. Or on their calendar, that says 1335. This one's going to be KM316. And I had the 5 millimes version of this, which is similar but smaller. But I didn't have this version. There's actually 5 different versions of this coin. And I will point out that oftentimes they will have what you call the ascension date, which is the date right here, which is slightly different than the one up there. I believe that one is 1333, and that's 1335. So that's when the monarch started his reign. But the Arabic year and the US year don't always line up perfectly. So there is a 1916 version with 1335 over here, and then this 1917 version. And then there's also versions where you have either an H for the heat and mint, or I think there's I forget the other mint mark that would appear here below the word millimes, where it's just empty space on this one. So this is the rarest version of them all, but in this, what I would call very good, which means it's really not all that good of condition, it is a book value of $1.25. If you had this uncirculated condition, just to show how rare it is, the uncirculated version would have a book value of $40. And that one was KM316. Let's move to a coin from the Dominican Republic. This is a side that we see on a lot of the Dominican coins. This one is a 10 centavos coin from 1975, KM19A. Now you'll notice that it has 2.5 gramos on there, written on here. That's because a lot of South American coins would like to tell you the silver content that appeared in the coin. This is not silver. This is, but there was a silver version of this which stopped in 1961. So version KM19 is silver, but 19A is the one we have here. And so even though they pulled the silver out of it, they did not drop the weight of the coin, in case you cared what it was in nickel. Here is a tiny coin from Turkey. Have the crescent moon and star on that side. It is their smallest denomination coin of the time, the 1 Kurus coin from 1963. This one is probably an upgrade to my collection, even though it doesn't have much of a value, but I usually find it well worn. This is KM 895, and this appears in 3 different metals. This is the original version, which appeared in brass. Then for about a decade after this, it appeared in bronze, and then eventually, up through the late 70s, it appeared in aluminum. From the country of Botswana, we have the 5 Thebe coin, featuring the toko bird. This is KM26. Flip it over, we have the symbol of Botswana on this side, where 100 Thebe make a pulu, a pula, which it has the word pula over 1998. So this was the first year this coin was made. Before this, there was a round version of this coin with a toko bird. This lasted for about 10 to 15 years. A little bit of an older coin that you'll find from Bahrain. It is 100 fils. And so it's got 1 palm tree on it. It looks like that date's going to be 1970, but their 6 looks like R7, their 5 looks like R0, so this date is actually 1965, even though it looks like 1970. KM number 6. If you find this coin from 1983, it was made in silver, but that is much rarer than this one. Here's an even newer design of coins from Bahrain. This one is the 25 fils, and for a lot of their coins, they'll have the number in the background and have the word for fils in the little box in the middle. This one is KM18, and I have to figure out which side is up on here. I guess that side is going to be up. So it has our calendar date of 2000, their calendar date of 1420 on the Arabic calendar. And this one features an ancient painting on it. So don't know how well we can zoom in on that one, but looks like what I would consider like a cave dwelling or something like that. Maybe that side is up. Yeah, I'll say that side is up. So KM18 worth $1. You can still find silver in a quarter bin at some places. You just have to beat people to it. I wouldn't be able to tell this was a silver coin based on this incredibly well-worn side. It's also damaged, dented, and whatnot. But hey, it's still worth the silver value. Good thing I already had this coin. It is the 6 pence from Australia, 1943, with an S for Sydney mint mark, KM38. This is sterling 0.925 silver at a time when Britain was making their coins out of 50% silver. They didn't make that change here until 1946 in Australia. So this is 0.0838 ounces, maybe a little bit less since this one is so well worn, but would have a melt value of $1.90. Here's a larger aluminum 2-shilling coin from Austria from 1946, another coin with grapes on it. That's the second one of those we've seen today. And so there is a very easy to find 1-shilling coin from Austria that's also made out of aluminum. The 2-shilling didn't last quite as long, so this one has a book value of 75 cents. And the KM number on this one is 2,872 because Australia has made lots of coins over the centuries. We're going to move to some coins from the 1800s, and we're going to start with this coin from Italy. This is probably the 3rd time I've picked this one up, but this one looks in really nice condition, with the exception of it has a lot of scrapes on it. So I don't know if that means it's been cleaned or it's just been scraped, but otherwise the details on it are pretty good. So 20 centesimi from Italy. On this side we just have the date of 1894, mint mark of KB. a crown, a star at the end, and kind of a wreath going around all that. This one is KM 28.1. I think the 0.1 is the KB mint mark. So I'm going to say this one books for $1, although if it was not scratched or cleaned, an uncirculated, or the brilliant uncirculated version of this coin has a book value of $60. So I'm not saying that's what this is worth, because this one is obviously scratched, but this is a good one to find in good condition. The tiniest of coins are the ones that don't have as much value, and so over the centuries, people haven't really held on to them as much. But this one from Italy has the ruler is Vittorio Emanuele II. We find a lot. It's easier to find the coins of Emmanuel III. But this one's pretty tiny here, but it's 1 centesimo from 1861 with an M mint mark. This is the first coin in Italy, so it's KM 1.1. And the 0.1 has to do with the mint mark. There is a rare version of this coin where the M is upside down, which is worth a lot more. But if this one was in uncirculated condition, it would have a book value of $40. But I'm saying in this condition, about, I'd say, very good when you look at the portrait. Yeah, this one's maybe worth 50 cents. Here is a very well-worn coin from the Netherlands East Indies. What you can see is the date of 1858. There's a couple of mint marks, or privy marks, I should say. It's got the shield with the crown on top of it. It's just completely worn off. Can barely see where it says 1 cent at the bottom. Flip it over, and it's got a couple of different languages because the Netherlands East Indies would have needed to reach people who speak Javanese and Malayan. So this one is KM 307.2. And if you like that one, then there is a 2.5 cent version, which is a lot bigger. So this one's a year older, 1857. You can barely see where it says Netherlands across the top, 2.5 cents. You can see that 2.5 right here, cent. Same privy marks on the side. A little bit less of it's well worn. So this one's definitely a better coin. I'm going to say this one books for $1.60. We're going to move on to a coin that, this is one of those coins that if you're going to find a coin that's over 150 years old, this might be the first one, the easiest one to find. From France, it's Napoleon III, Emperor of 1856, and I picked this one up because it's in better condition than I usually see it. This one, you usually find these in good condition, but this one's even better than that. So each mint mark has a different catalog number. So this one is mint mark K, which means it was minted in Bordeaux. The different mint mark also means that the symbols right here are going to be different. So that's why it's given a different catalog number. So this one is KM 777.5. I'm going to say that one books for $1. And then this one is, that was the 5 centime. This one is the 10 centime, so it's going to have twice the weight on it. This side is so incredibly well worn that you can't really see anything on it, but the real value of this coin is going to be on the other side, where we have a counterstamp for Pears soap. So you can see that this is going to be very similar to the last one. Still has Napoleon III Emperor on it. This one has a date of 1854. And so I'm not much of a mint mark collector, but when you see something like this in a quarter bin, you got to pick it up. And so I thought this was fantastic, and I did some research on it. Apparently this is a British company, and this company is still around. And but at the time, for advertising, what companies would do is take circulating coins and then put a counterstamp in them. And so with coins that were going around in circulation, they kind of figured that was free advertising. You just damage a coin that people would spend, and you would get That was a way of advertising your brand without costing you anything, because just you would get coins, stamp them, and then hand them out as change. But it came to a time where the government doesn't like it when people do that. So British passed a rule saying you cannot do this to British coins. But at the time, French coins, a lot of people knew what the French coins were worth, and they still circulated in Britain, so they started doing this to French coins, which circulated in Britain. So if you think this was done over 150 years ago, someone put this stamp on it, in Britain on a French coin. And so I think the story of that is pretty neat. I did my best to try and figure out a value of this. That's really hard to say. The KM number, by the way, is 771. I can't tell you the point what on it because I couldn't read the mint mark. But when I looked at sold listings on eBay, the cheapest one I found was $2, and there were ones that went up to $30. This one's in a lot worse condition, so I'm going to say this one's worth $2. We're going to finish with a replica of a Confederate States of America token. Now, real Confederate coins are almost impossible to find. I don't know if they ever actually circulated. This one is dated 1861 as a replica. Thankfully, they actually stamped the word copy on it. If you look there, you can see the word copy, but they intended for the 1 cent coin to actually show 1/over 100 as their 1 cent coin. So I thought that was kind of a neat Confederate token that just probably has no value, but I like seeing it. Something like that. So what was all of this worth? Well, if you watched my video, I said I paid, let's see, 64 coins, 4 for $1. I paid $16 for the entire bag of video 1 and this video shown here. There's a lot. There was 3 silver coins, I think, several British, a couple of euros that were, and Japanese coins that were worth probably $16 in just foreign exchange value. But the total book value of everything in both of these videos, the first video was $37.60. This one ended up being exactly $30. So that gives you a grand total of $67.50, and I'm not looking to turn around and sell these for $67.50. I'm just a math nerd who likes seeing what it's worth, the stuff that I buy. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a lot more content coming down pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.